We can get you trained. We can work through what kind of yard you have, what kind of fence you have. Those are minor. We can fix those. But if you come in with that kind of heart that you'll take a child where they're at and you'll love them unconditionally and you'll provide them a home, then that's what makes a good foster parent.
A lot of people, when they're first calling in, they don't know much about foster care yet. So I'm there to educate them, to kind of talk to them just about what foster care is overall. Really educating them. I know when I first talk to families, sometimes people are just calling to get more information. Other times people are ready to dive in and take the next step. The very first step in the process is the intake, and that's conducted over the phone. And that's really just when I ask people some general questions to get to know them better. And then after that, I send the application, and in the application, there is a home checklist. So it's a helpful list of the things that they'll need in their home before they're licensed. Then there's also some information about background checks. The licensing process usually takes about 4 to 6 months to complete from the time that you start the training, but there's really just 3 steps: the intake, the application, and then you'll be assigned a licensing worker. So the intake is really just done over the phone, and I tell people allow about an hour.
You've taken the first step. You reached out and called us instead of us calling you. I can go over a short questionnaire to find out your background. We like to find out what type of home they have, how many youth are living in the home already, do they have children of their own, are they married or single or living with somebody.
Cornerstones was awesome, and we were lucky to have a very good, our caseworker was wonderful. She gave us a lot of information right off the bat, and the beginning parts is just check marking things off of a list. You know, your fingerprints, your background checks, it's just the paperwork part of things, and then once that paperwork part is done, it's the classes after that.
Classes and home visits.
Oh, well, the first step was filling out probably, it looked like an encyclopedia stack of papers.
The big book.
Yeah, they just kind of went over telling about ourselves, our finances, our childhood, how we were raised, our children now, how we raised them. Merle, who was one of the people that we came in contact with Cornerstones of Care, which really became our case manager along with a lady named Michaela. He was just awesome. He called and was like, hey, he introduced himself, offered his services, came over to the house and kind of was like, if you have any questions, just let me know. And he went through literally every single last step with us.
So whenever the first initial visit occurs, your licensing worker will bring out additional paperwork. So they'll just sit down with you and go over that during that visit. That's also when they'll enroll you in the training that's required. And then before they leave your home, that's when they'll take a tour of your home. So you can just show them around. If you have any questions about the home checklist or any questions about a bedroom you want to use for a child, feel free to ask at that visit.
Opening your home up for somebody to come in, it's not as bad as it may sound. The DCF workers, they're not there to judge your housekeeping. They're there to judge, do you have the items and the space needed to foster a child?
The process usually takes about 4 to 6 months from the time that a family starts the training.
Then there's some training you have to take. The biggest is an 8 to 10 week course where you have to commit 3 hours a week. And there's a little bit of paperwork with that.
My advice would be to take advantage of trainings and classes, specifically just for children with trauma. I think that it re-energizes you when you take a class and learn new tools on how to deal with whatever issue you might be going through. And you also are in a room with other people that are going through similar things.
Probably the biggest question I get is, do we have to take every youth that you send us? And I always clarify that their advocate is their gatekeeper. They will talk with their advocate on what kind of youth they want to have. They get licensed for a specific age group, and then their advocate is the one asked. And they go to the family and ask if they would like to have this particular child. At first, we kind of dip your toe in the water and get used to it, but then after that, we want you to try to step out of your comfort zone. If you don't think you want older kids, we try to encourage, you try the older ones. They don't have to have their diapers changed like the babies do, but we do have a strong need for teenagers. We get the child placed, we check in, we let them know the first few days, call me if you need anything. Call me or call the caseworker. The understanding is the advocates are the ones that are supporting the foster families. The caseworkers are really on the side of the child. Sure. And so they have to understand the person that's going to go to bat for them is that advocate.
So here at Cornerstones of Care, we're here to support you. Your licensing worker will be your advocate as you go through the process, and also after you have your first placement in your home, so you're not in this alone. Yeah, the advice I would give is really just to go into this open-minded. Whenever you receive those phone calls, really just listen about the kids and have an open heart when you receive those phone calls. Also, to have support. That's the biggest one, to have support, whether that is another foster family, going to support groups, your neighbor, a friend, leaning on those people. You're not in this alone.
Thank you for watching this episode. If you're ready to get started on your journey to become a foster care parent, you can complete an interest form on our website. Thank you.